Prison. Prison.
Yeah, in this video, I wanted to talk real brief about the time I'm upstate and how I played myself because I didn't really know no better. So I'm on the island and I'm trying to kill time. Like, thinking like all this time is going to count and I'm going to just get upstate, get a number and come right back down. For those of us that know how they do that, right? It's not right unless these are on. Poof. And these, huh? The whole setup. Professional over here, so I can know what's popping. So anyway, I get upstate. I kill time on the island. I'm on the island for like a good year or so, right? I get upstate, up north, and anybody knows your first time upstate, if you got a beef that's not a super violent charge or whatever, you go to the shock program. But I didn't know this. I didn't pay it no mind. My thinking was, at the same token, if they offer me that, I'm going to refuse it. But dudes are like, nah, bro, you're going to go to Ulster, downstate, you're going to get a number, and you're going to come right back down. All the jailhouse lawyers, right? And you listen to them, and they'll drive you bananas. So I get up there. Boom. My first time up there, I get to Ulster County. That's when, if anybody has been to Ulster County, where I was talking about in one of my previous videos, they used to have a box of top in the lockers for those that smoked. Like, the first one is on them. The first one's free. After that, there's a fee, right? They're trying to get you hooked to them tops because they sell them at the commissary. It's just the way it is. So I get there and they tell me they doing the evaluation or whatever you want to call it. And then I get to shock. Boom, I get to Lakeview. If anybody has ever been to Lakeview back in them days, Sandman was around. Sandman. Rest in peace to Sandman. I meant Iceman, right? Iceman is there. And it was a lot of stories with Iceman, this big Caucasian dude, right? And it's like his whole family worked there. His mother, supposedly, everybody. I screamed out at one time and everybody's like, bro, you're gonna die. That was Iceman's mom's. And I was like, what? Like, holy snap, it's going down. So anyway, bottom line is, Iceman is there. He walks around with a grill. He has actually a dark-skinned baby hanging from a noose, bro. That's how they was getting down up there. Super disrespectful. Don't even care. All in your face with it back then, right? So I'm in shock. I go from Lakeview. They take me to my actual shock camp where I'm going to be at, whatever you want to call it, right? So I went to like Summit, if I'm not mistaken. It's called, yeah, Summit. So one day, you got inspection and all that. And I'm like, I'm not staying here, bro. I'm out of here. This is not gangster. This is not cool. I'm not getting up in the morning working out. I'm not shaving for people. They screaming all in your face. I couldn't take that, bro. Dudes are like, yo, chill, boy, chill. Boom. But I started seeing dudes from my neighborhood that was there. Like, bro, if he could do it, I could do it. And dudes were gassing you up and, motivating you to stay. So, 1 week turns into 2, into 3. I'm there for a few weeks, right? I'm cleaning my locker. With my luck, guess what I find, bro? I find a Gemstar razor. And I'm like, what? In my locker, that's how you get set up. And it was brand new, crispy. So I don't know if somebody was trying to set me up, they didn't like me, or the COs were putting it there to find it and act like, like they doing their job and they gaining stripes. I don't know. But it was on my locker. Inspection was coming. We was cleaning up. And I find it. Now I'm like, yo, what I do with this? Should I keep it? Put it in the trunk? Should I stash it? Should I turn it into the CO? Should I flush it? But as I turned around while I'm holding it in my hand, boom, somebody's always looking. And one of the dudes that's there, right, he's looking at me. And in shock, they be telling. They be trying to score points with the CO. So I wasn't taking a risk. I said, these two dudes saw it, man. I got to turn this in. So I turn it in and I'm like, yo, look what I found, my locker. Guess what? They don't even believe me, my dude. They thinking is like, why would I give you something that's mine? I could have flushed it, right? They write it up, of course, because they want to look good, right? It's like I play myself. They put me in this thing that's called the thinking tank. For those of you that ever been to shock your first time. After that, I went to regular prisons. For those of you that, even though it don't matter, it doesn't make you a bigger gangster or less of a gangster if you just been to shock before. It is what it is. 50 Cent was in shock. But after that, I started going to regular prison bids. But anyway, they put you in a thinking tank. And in that thinking tank is a door, like the cell that they put you in. And behind me is like a pinkish or greenish wall with like a house. It looks like upstate, a cow and a little family. And they figure if you stay looking towards the door, they want you to start looking towards the back, right? And over here is like a cell drawn with like a mouse on the floor. It's like bugged out, bro. And it's called the thinking tank. And they put you in there when you misbehave. And they want you actually to at one point turn around and look towards like the pretty house and all that. And that's where you're trying to go home. I don't know who taught them these tactics or mental tactics, whatever games they trying to play or however mentally they trying to evaluate you is corny. And so anyway, I never looked towards the pretty house that they had there with the cow, with the little family, with the white picket fence, because that wasn't my reality. You feel me? My reality was always, I was used to jail and jail and jail and jail. So I kept looking towards the part where the cell was at with the little mouse. And I was like, wow, that looked just like a cell. And I was in a cell. And on the wall, there's one drawn like officially 3D. Like, it was crazy. So when I tell the CEO, like, how long am I going to be in here? Like, what's up? Like, I turned that in. That's crazy. And one CEO, she gave me like a hint, like, you're supposed to like look that way, and that's when they know you're ready to get out of here. It was so corny. Out the whole experience, I learned nothing. But then when you go in the thinking tank, if you're trying to get out, turn around the other way. I didn't see the logic in it. Like, up to this day, I don't get it. But I don't know. Leave in the comments what you think about that, and we'll get into that. And what you think, what you would have done. Would have turned in that razor? Would you have flushed it after somebody else seen it? And these dudes were telling up there like real quick. So I don't know if I should have took that shot. After they wrote me up for it, but like with a pardon. Like, I don't know, like that's crazy. So I never like went to the box for the razor, but I don't know how they wrote it up that they just put me in the thinking tank. You feel me? And that was like the punishment, I guess. Bro, you didn't find the razor. I turned it in. It wasn't mine. And there was witnesses that while I was cleaning it, I found it. They just couldn't believe it because they did so many searches, so many inspections, and they never ran into that. But remember, I moved the locker like boom. I had a little size at that time. I'm moving it like boom. That thing just fell. Bling, bling, bling. I was like, what? We in shock, bro. We going to jail like again. Like, we going under this prison. And that was one crazy experience that I had while I was upstate. My first time in a shock facility upstate. And that's what happens to me. And also, and all that, we was loose, before we got to our final destination. And then, as a matter of fact, first we went to Lakeview. Let me get that straight. Facts. We went to Lakeview. Then from Lakeview, they figure out what shock camp or shock place you going to. That's how it went. It came back to me like boop. First we went to Lakeview, and then they figured out we went to Summer and all that. Some people actually, I think, stayed right there at Lakeview. I think so. Yeah, they stayed at Lakeview because we used to hear them, your love. But we had to do the same thing in the morning, like going to the child, depending on your officer, they was going in on you. But yeah, that's how it went. Leave in the comments if you remember, if you ever been to Lakeview or Summit, or however, if you used to be like top dog, because that's what they used to make you say, like when you make it to certain hats at the end, like when you about to go home, we're going home, like, while I'm doing the bend and reach, your girl is something, while you doing the bend and reach, I'll be on the beach on my left, right, left. It was crazy, but It was like, yo, I can't believe I'm doing this. Like, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be in a regular jail, right? But it's crazy because you get to go home in 6 months. Like, and then I went through the whole thing carrying the log with another dude because we were arguing. But time was getting shorter and shorter, and it went by real quick. All that for nothing. Like about 28 days later, I was right back in a prison. That's a fact. Got locked up, right back again. Like, but the statistics say that a lot of people do go back. But leave in the comments if you ever been there and what was your experience when you got to shock. Facts. You already know. This is on the Lockout.